back to Girl Boss SA, where we're all about giving you the tools to tap into your magic. I don't know if you can hear the fan. I'm sorry if it's annoying, but it's very hot in here. Today, I want to get into this Q&A actually. We're going to do a Q&A session, but before we do that, I want to talk about the season that we're currently in, the Leo season, the season of the lion. It's what we originally called the season of HERU, or the season of Horus in Greek mythology. So the dominating force in nature right now is fire. I want to get into fundamentally what it is about fire that affects us so much in this time. It's a plasma reaction that occurs when heat, oxygen, and fuel combine in a process called combustion. So unlike water or earth or air, fire doesn't have a tangible physical form. It exists as energy in motion. And in alchemy, fire is known as the great purifier. It's the great transformer. It represents transmutation. And transmutation is the ability to take raw materials and turn them into something greater. So ancient alchemists knew that fire was the key to transformation. When we're talking about the melting of ice or the ripening of fruit, all of these transformations that happen in nature require heat. Fire is the great catalyst. It doesn't create matter. It releases energy that's stored within it. So the human body contains fire. Thermogenesis is what keeps us alive. It's the production of heat in our bodies that maintains our core temperature. Our solar plexus governs our digestive system. In ancient Vedic practices, they refer to it as the digestive fire because it breaks down food and it converts it into energy. Even our nervous system and our metabolism rely on biochemical reactions that generate heat to fuel our thoughts, to fuel our movements and our emotions. Emotionally, fire governs our passion, our determination, and our will to act. The sun is our ultimate fire source. It fuels all life on Earth. Through its energy, plants grow, oceans warm, and the seasons change. Even volcanic activity is what shaped the Earth's landscape, creating fertile soil that gives rise to new ecosystems. So even wildfires, the nature of wildfires is that they clear out old vegetation for new life to emerge. And that in itself plays a very essential role in the great circle of life, even in its destructive nature. Forest fires burn away the old to make way for new growth. Even some trees, like sequoias, actually need fire to release their seeds. So fire holds the same function in our lives. It burns away stagnation. And within its seasons, it breeds a particular kind of people. People born in fire seasons are naturally inclined to being leaders, to being visionaries, and risk takers. The shadow side of these characteristics can also be a tendency to be destructive, to being impulsive, and overwhelming. People with just overwhelming personalities. Each element has a yin and yang to it, or pros and cons, or the positive and the negative. Each of the fire seasons embody different expressions of fire. They bring periods of motivation, of action, and dynamic change, but they also come with their own challenging dynamics. What I'd like to do is just briefly explore those three fire seasons and how they affect us and what kind of people that they breed. The first fire season being Asa, or Aries. This is the first sign of the Zodiac. It's ruled by Mars. Mars is the planet of action, war, and raw energy. Aries, or Asa, represents the initial spark of fire, the ignition that propels us forward. Aries season occurs at the start of the solar cycle, aligning with the spring equinox. It's a time of renewal, of rebirth, and it's just the season of the return of light, the return of the sun. So in this season, nature gives us a burst of new life after the winter's dormancy, and it encourages bold beginnings and fearless action. So during the season, the fire element manifests as an urgent desire to initiate and to conquer. The energy of the season compels us to set new goals, to take decisive action, and to break through barriers. So this season can be a proper source of courage for you. It can really help you to push past your doubts, right? Self-doubts and fears. But on the flip side, it can also lead to impulsiveness, to aggression, and to burnout, because it's a lot. You feel this very sudden burst of energy where you want to be productive and you want to start new projects. It's an excellent time to start new projects, but it's really important in that time to be selective of what it is that you pour your energy into. It's a really good time to brainstorm. It's a great time to follow your instinct, because your gut kind of pushes you to take action and decisive action, but it can lead to burnout if you're not cautious of spreading yourself too thin. So be selective with the projects that you start in those seasons, especially in that season. So a star season occurs from the 21st of September to the 21st of whatever the next month is, of October. The next fire season is then HERU season, what we call Leo season, which we're currently in now in the southern hemisphere. It occurs from the 21st of January to the 21st of Feb. The fire energy in the season, it's about confidence and creativity, because Leo is ruled by the sun itself, and it represents this steady, enduring flame. Unlike Aries, which is like a sudden burst of ignition, HERU's fire burns consistently, providing warmth, light, and creative inspiration. So this season aligns with the peak of summer, when the sun is at its most powerful, giving us vitality, personal strength, and the joy of self-expression. So HERU season is about personal power. This is what the sun gives us in this time. This is what the fire element gives us in this time. It's about confidence, it's about leadership, and it's about magnetic presence. This is a time of heightened creativity. This is the season that encourages us to step into the spotlight. It encourages us to embrace our uniqueness and to radiate our inner light. Leo's fire fuels self-expression. So this is a really good time for creative projects, for leadership roles. And on the flip side, HERU's energy, like we said, there's always this like yin yang with every element and with every season. Even for people that are born within the season of HERU, the energy can also manifest arrogance, egotism, and this need for constant validation. That's kind of just the balance of the positive and negative of Leo energy. And working with this energy, working with HERU fire, fundamentally it pushes you, it's about recognizing your inner brilliance while also allowing others to shine. This is how to find that balance. It's to recognize that within yourself, recognize your own brilliance, but also, make room within yourself to understand the brilliance of others. The lesson that nature teaches us in this time, it's about generosity. It's about how to give warmth, how to give inspiration. Think of the sun, right? This is what the sun does. The sun sustains life. HERU's fire works the same way. It reminds us that true confidence comes not from dominance, but from like an inner radiance that naturally inspires others. So within the zodiac, right, the zodiac being the circle of little animals, that's what zodiac means. HERU is symbolized as a lion. He's the great lion. His story in the Osirian mythos, it's basically the exact same story as Simba in The Lion King. That's his journey. He is Simba. He's the son of Asa and Oset, who we now know as Osiris and Isis. He just becomes the warrior who has to fight his uncle in order to restore balance and reclaim his throne. In Kemet, he was depicted as a falcon, or a man with the head of a falcon, symbolizing his high perspective and his superior vision. And then the third fire season is Sagittarius, what we originally called Sekhmet season, Sekhmet Bast, the great cat. I think I've mentioned her a few times in other videos as well. I've never done a full video on Sekhmet, I think, so at some point I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that during Sekhmet season. The third fire season begins on the 21st of May and runs through to the 21st of June. Wildfire. That's what the third fire season is. Sagittarius embodies that energy of wildfire. It is expansive and it's about discovery. Sagittarius season is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of expansion. Jupiter represents fire in its most expansive and adventurous form. Within our natal charts, it represents expansion and growth, how we expand, how we grow. It's about seeking truth. That's why, like, Sagittarius people are very spiritually inquisitive, right? They're very inquisitive. Sagittarius season begins when we're experiencing the transition from autumn to winter. This is a time of philosophical reflection. It's about discovery, it's about exploration, and it's about higher learning. We're definitely going to talk more about Sekhmet season during Sekhmet season, but basically it's just a season that encourages you to seek new experiences and to broaden your perspective. The restless nature of the sign drives people to explore beyond their comfort zones. On the flip side, this energy is also kind of reckless. It's important to maintain the balance between expansion and focus. That's the balance that nature teaches us within that season. So each fire season offers us a different lesson in harnessing passion and ambition. Aries pushes us to start. Leo teaches us to sustain, and then Sagittarius inspires us to expand. Recognizing the cycles of fire allows us to work with the natural flow. Fire is both a source of creation and destruction. Fire warms and it transforms, but it also consumes. So by understanding and respecting its power, we can harness fire's energy to fuel our passions, to fuel our drive, to drive our ambitions, and to illuminate our paths forward. Okay, so one of the things that I like to do the most is get into the seasonal lifestyle plan. When we're looking at elements and seasons, how is it that we align with the season? Altering our lifestyle to align with the season so that we're working with the natural flow. In this season, it's about movement. In all the fire seasons, it's about movement, because now we're dealing with sunlight, we're dealing with heat, right? We're dealing with fire, and fire is in constant motion because it's always releasing energy. Remember to stay active, to move. Make time within the setup of your life to get some exercise. You can work with candles, you know, whatever fire rituals work for you. Write down your intentions, burn them in a flame. It's a really good way to release and manifest. The most important thing, I think, to do in the season is to embrace passion projects. Fire thrives on enthusiasm, right? So just pour yourself into something you love. You know, passion projects are the thing that are most likely to thrive in this time. And it has to be something that you love. It has to be something that you care about. It can't be things that you're forced into, because it's not going to flow. Because this is a time for passion. It's a time to actually activate and to work with your passion, the things that you're passionate about. This is the season to make time for that. In between all of the other things that you have to do take some time to pour yourself into a project that means something to you, that means a lot to you. When we're talking about goal setting and intention setting for the year, this is the time to focus on that one thing, or one of the things that are one of your main goals, one of the main things you want to achieve in this year. And also, there's the whole thing about colors. Colors are a really good way to tap into vibrations. Surround yourself with fire colors. A flame has many colors. There's yellow, there's red, there's orange, there's even hints of like purple and blue. Gold is also it embodies fire and its vitality. The main color of HERU season is yellow, right? It's the perceived color of the sun. It's what represents light. He was also depicted quite often with a sun disk on his head, and this is one of his main symbols, is the sun, because he is the son of Ra. I think that's it. I think that's it from me about the season. If you have any more questions about the season, please do put them in the comment section, and I will do my best to respond, I think. But also, I am going to do a Q&A session every now and then. The next video is going to be a Q&A session. I think I'm going to start it now. So I'll be uploading the Q&A where I'm taking questions from your comments from the comment section. So your questions in the comments on these videos, and also from my personal Instagram page, I did ask for people to send their questions through, and I got a ton of questions in my DMs. So we're going to see how much of that we can. I'm obviously not going to get through all of them, because some of them also, you know, are personal questions, which I feel like are maybe more appropriate for lives and things like that. I'll do some Instagram lives as well, so we can get into it. I guess my exit message for this particular video and this topic is just to get creative and innovative with your seasonal lifestyle planning. And please do share with me some of the things that you do, some of the rituals that you get into to align with the season. Please do share, because I don't want to always just be talking at you. I always say this is not a religion, it's a lifestyle, you know, and we can always also learn from each other. I think this is just a really great way for us all to learn together. But yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna cut it off right there. Yeah, thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the Q&A session that I'm gonna get into right now. I'm just gonna pull up these questions. As always, look after yourself, be good to yourself.